Well, good afternoon, everybody. I'm Donald Clark. I'm one of the acupuncturists here at CMI Healing Arts, CMI Fertility, if you didn't already know that. Welcome. So today I have titled our little discussion about spring, right? And everything that we're going to do to get ready for spring. I've always said, if you're going to come in for any acupuncture, the best time to do it is 4 times a year: winter, summer, fall, and spring, right when the seasons change. Okay. And that's when there's the most chi in the environment. Just like, a pond, ponds are awesome, but they're kind of a stagnant water, right? There's not inflow and outflow. But you get a stream, and it's very, very fresh, very rapid, very fast. And that's kind of the seasons change. There's quick movement, there's a lot of chi, and it's a good time to harness it. So today we're going to talk a little bit about spring, right? And things that you can do through holistic health and through Chinese medicine that'll help you prepare for spring. So, how do you know it's spring? Well, calendar, but also the sun's higher, right? So the sun's higher. And most importantly, the one thing that I always pay attention to is the migration. The migration has definitely started in earnest. And that's how you can truly tell when spring is fast approaching. It's by the different birds that are coming back. And the more sensitive the bird, the closer we are to no snow, warmer weather. And we're starting to see some sensitive birds move up into the region. So we know, spring's coming. And within a couple of weeks, we'll get that warm spring rain. And then all the salamanders and frogs will come out. And then you know it's spring. So, all winter we focus on being inside, being internal, being introspect, meditation and going to the root, right? Because in winter it's dark and it's a very yin, very cold, dark kind time of year. So you're eating lots of fat to stay warm, and so it's kind of a quiet time, right? And then spring comes, and boom, you've got all this chi, and flowers are starting to come out, and birds are returning. So that's the time of year when you need to get out, right? You need to get out and walk a little bit, get outside, harness that chi. Do some tai chi, do some yoga. Really harness it, and it's also a good time to start eating lightly, right? So our livers and our gallbladders have just been burned from all the fat, right? So it's a lot for a gallbladder, and it's a lot for a liver to process all of this, right? And so it's a time, spring going into summer, start fasting, eating lighter, right? And when I mean lighter, I mean less calories. Eat broths, right? Bone broth. It's really good for you. And what it's going to do is going to help your body start to play catch up. It's going to help your body start to process all the sluggishness that has occurred in the winter, right? What happens in the winter? You get slow. Your chi can get slow. Everything gets sluggish. Your liver and your gallbladder are tired from processing all the fats. And so once spring comes, we slow that down, right? We eat less, right? And as we go into summer, we're going to even eat less than that. So, so it's time to change our lifestyles a little bit. We want to get out a little bit more. We want to start fasting a little bit more. We want to start doing some exercise a little bit more. Super important, because if we can adjust to the season, it's moving into the next season is just going to be so much easier on our bodies, right? So get outside, don't get caught, just sitting around inside, bored, or which most people don't have time to be bored, but if you have some extra time, get out, go outside. Just looking at my cheat sheets here. What are some of the things that we should be aware of? So the most important thing, and the one thing that we should be aware of the most in the spring is the wind, right? And I've talked about this so many times before. Wind is just super duper dangerous. I mean, it's beautiful to fly kites and and it makes wonderful sounds, sound gardens and wind chimes and all that. But it can get inside of you, and we have openings in our body that wind specifically targets when it wants to come in, and it's the nape of the neck and it's our lower back. And we need to make sure that in the spring, when it's super windy, we need to keep those covered, right? So we need to keep our collars up, or wear a scarf, and we need to, it's very common in other parts of the world to wear a scarf around your lower back. So don't, put a scarf around your lower back, put a scarf around your neck, and put your jacket on. That's going to keep the wind out. And wind can cause a lot. It can get inside our bodies, and it can just open up. With it can come pathogens, right? So you need to be careful. You need to keep the wind out. In Chinese medicine, there's wind heat and wind cold, and all those contribute to common colds and flus, right? So if you're letting the wind in and you get that chill, that's usually wind entering the body, and you want to get it out. And the best way to get wind out of your body is to sweat it out, right? So a nice hot shower. If you're pregnant or if you're in a stim cycle, I don't recommend a hot bath or a jacuzzi. But if you're not in a stim cycle or pregnant, a hot bath, a sauna, all that it's going to do is going to push the wind out. So if you find yourself chilled or you were outside in the wind too long, then make sure you try to get that wind out of you. We don't want wind in. And so in Chinese medicine, in the spring, we focus on keeping you strong, keeping the wind out, but we want to move the qi in the blood of the liver and gallbladder, because they're, like I said, they were so sluggish over the winter that we want to refresh it. We want to build qi and move it along, and keep a nice healthy organ system going. And when I say healthy, I mean your organ systems are very healthy. I'm talking energetically. So energetically speaking, we want to keep your liver and your gallbladder as healthy as possible. And Chinese medicine is just so good with that. And acupuncture, some simple acupuncture protocols or treatments can make a difference. What you don't want is you don't want to just plow through spring and not feel very good and not do much to improve your health. And then as you roll into summer, your liver and gallbladder aren't healthy. They aren't as healthy as they could be because we didn't, take those precautions. We overate through spring. We ate all the wrong foods. We didn't do any, we didn't get out and exercise. We didn't do any movements. We didn't harness that spring qi. And then you're moving into the warm parts of the month. And whenever the liver isn't happy, it creates heat. And if you're going into the summer and you have a lot of heat in your body to begin with, and then you hit the hot months of the summer, usually that results in some issues heat issues that we don't want to deal with, especially if you're on a stim cycle, because the meds themselves are very warm, being that they create a lot of heat in the body. Not that they're warm themselves, but they create a lot of heat in the body because you're going from 0 to 60 in a very short period of time. And so it creates heat, and the whole goal is to manage your heat levels in a stim cycle. So acupuncture is great. And try to harness some of that qi so you have more qi to work with by yoga, tai chi, getting outside, planting flowers, right? Going for walks. My favorite thing, watch birds, go for walks. And this is the time of year to do it. Let's see, cheat sheets. So essentially 4 times a year, right? This is one of those times a year. It's a season change. It's so important now to get some acupuncture or to invest in your health a little bit more, because it's like there's certain times a year when it's better to do the things that you do, and it's certain times it's not. Season change is so important because you have a lot to work with, and you want to propel your health into the next season, because it's going to require a whole new set of treatments. So try to do that for spring. Fast a little bit more, less caloric intake. It's super important. Bone broths are very good. Continue to eat your high fat foods, just not as much as before. Acupuncture, Chinese medicine, yoga, massage, all that's going to harness chi and move it. And that's what we really want to do for a healthier season coming up, right? We always want to look ahead. We always want to look ahead. The beautiful thing about Chinese medicine is you can look at the past and you can tell what's going on in the body through that. We look at the root cause, not necessarily the symptoms. We look at the root. Also, we're great at looking forward, right? We want to adjust you so that when you go into that next season, you're in tip-top health. Chinese medicine, acupuncture. Reach out to your local acupuncturist. Talk to them about, spring, some of the things that you can do to better yourself in spring. I hope this helps. Welcome to the spring. And, feel free to, set up a consultation with me on Wednesdays. Give me a call, email me, and I'd love to chit chat with you. Thank you.